Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special episode of the Game of Thrones podcast. I am your host, Carmine of Red Team Review, and I'm joined here by my co-host and fellow Game of Thrones YouTuber, Preston Jacobs. In this video, we'll be discussing Season 7, Episode 6, which is the latest episode to leak online. Before we continue any further, I must give you guys a spoiler warning, obviously, and to tell you that this is not a review video. This is just our first impressions of the episode. Normally, when Preston and I do upload a review, it is after watching the episode for a second or third time, but we wanted to get our first impressions out there before diving deeper into it. So, Preston, I haven't seen the whole episode. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Oh, jeez.
You've seen the full thing, you fiend. How was it, first impressions?
A hot mess. Hot mess.
It was a hot mess?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure everyone else is going to say, oh my gosh, craziness. But it's, even on Game of Thrones' lack of logic, it's beyond. It's so, like, it's just a farce. Like, it's so funny. The episode is comical. But
Comical?
Yeah, I would say comical. I mean, that's I finished it. And I've been thinking about it, like, I've been mulling it over for the past couple hours, and it's just, I just don't even know
Like, I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. I think it does have a place among, like, the dreaded episode lineup of previous seasons when it comes to tackling the material. You're like more of a harsh critic than I am, which is fine, but I go at it from, like, a different point of view. You know, I try to enjoy it as much as I can, and, you know, if it was entertaining enough. I know you can't let go of some of the dumb things they do, but I'm more forgiving, I guess. But this episode, I enjoyed it, but there were some dumb things even I can't ignore, and not even the show audience, the people who only watch it and don't read the material, even they're calling out some things. Do what I do. Just do what I do. At this point, just let it go. Just try to enjoy. There are some stupid things. Like, Arya this season has just been so fucking all over the place. That's one part I can't enjoy. But
Arya's actually dumber than everything else. I admit that Arya is the dumbest thing.
Why are you trying to get my video disliked to all hell? Come on.
It's just, Arya needs to fucking die. They need to kill that character off right now.
I just want to say this now to those of you who love Arya, which is the majority of you people watching this. That's Preston. His channel will be in the description. You can go hate on him.
Arya needs to die. She's hopeless. There's no coming back from this. She's just she's a dumpster fire.
They're probably doing one of those things where it's like Arya is being a douche on purpose to try to throw off Littlefinger.
The show's not that clever. Arya is not. She's not a consistent character from episode to episode. They're kind of pushing this. Oh, she's dark, and we don't. Can she be saved?
She's dark and kind of emo, and she's really loyal to Jon for some reason.
But Jon's gonna bring her back from the edge in the end, and she's gonna kill some White Walkers with her little dagger. Like, we know that's happening. Like, it's just
Well, we won't really get too much into it, but from what we saw, I saw bits and pieces of it. Arya was really douchey towards Sansa this entire episode. Unless they're trying to do one of those fake out things where, like, she was douchey on purpose to try to throw off Littlefinger. And that's what they're going to go for, about Arya going after Littlefinger. But whatever, let's move on for now. We'll come back to Arya a little later. So let's talk about Jon. I said that Jon's plan was dumb. It sounds like he wants to wander around beyond the wall to find a random white that is just running around without the rest of the army, so it's likely Jon is looking for a scouting party, I said it's dumb because the Night King isn't human, so he probably doesn't, fight like the humans would. That would be like, when you move your forces, you want to send a scouting party on ahead to check out the terrain and, opposition troop numbers and their layout and formation. Right. We see this briefly in Season 1 with Robb and Tywin. I thought that the Night King would just go head on towards the wall without needing to do that, and I was wrong. They actually ambush a White Walker. Just what the fuck?
Like he's just has his own battalion. I don't know what he's doing, or has his own, like, troop.
He ambushes a White Walker. I was like, no way, he's gonna catch on to this.
Right, they made that White Walker look like a total chump. Like, he's...
Wait a minute, he was caught by surprise. He needed a couple of minutes to get his shit together, but unfortunately, he could not get his shit together.
They did set up some sort of rule. It seems that whoever smelt it, dealt it, like with a white. You know,
Yeah.
like that was the rule. Like whoever, like they kill the White Walker, and all but one conveniently, like collapses. Which God, that means, you know how like at the end of the Avengers or the end of the Phantom Menace, like you kill the control ship and then all of the drones like fall apart, like that trope
Yeah.
in a movie, like it's totally gonna fucking happen in this show, right? They're gonna kill the Night's King, and then all the whites are gonna drop. But yeah, they kill the one, and all the whites drop, and except for one. So it seems like that kind of rule was put in. But I don't know why he'd be marching his own crew around.
Scouting party.
I guess.
I'm just so surprised they managed to ambush a White Walker. I mean, I guess it shows, like, they're not invincible, like they're not, like all knowing, or they can't sense things around them. But I was thinking the entire time the Brotherhood without banners was perfectly fit to take out the White Walkers, and I'll tell you why. Thoros of Myr, Beric Dondarrion, Anguy. Right. If they fucking had Anguy there, he would have destroyed the Night King without hesitation. You give him like a little arrow with a dragon glass head on it, and shoot it at the Night King. Boom, done. That's why Anguy's not here. Anguy wasn't in. I don't think Anguy was in the last episode. For those of you who don't remember, Anguy is the archer from the Brotherhood Without Banners. He
is Anguy even around back when they like killed Lemoncloak?
I didn't see him.
I don't think we've seen Anguy since season 3.
Yeah, he's the first Brotherhood Without member guy that we encounter. So he's what?
You accidentally said the Brotherhood Without members.
But okay, so I will say the way Thoros went out was I don't know, like at the same time, yeah, it's cold. I expect this to happen. He was wounded by that polar bear. But at the same time, I don't know, I kind of want him to go out in a blaze of glory.
I was surprised at how much plot armor the Magnificent Seven had, because all the red shirts died, obviously, all the wildling red shirts died, and then Thoros died. But I was really expecting like Beric, Tormund,
the Hound,
Gendry.
I was to go down.
I wasn't expecting the Hound, but I was expecting the other ones to go down. I'm surprised everybody survived except for Thoros and the red shirts. Mm-hmm. That was impressive.
Well, the one person who didn't survive was one of Dany's dragons, which good luck figuring out which one it was, by the way. Unless you read the leaks ahead of time, which, by the way, we'll tell you now, since you're in this video. It was Viserion.
Viserion, whatever way you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter.
I mean, okay, this is the stupidest part about the episode. One of the stupidest part about the episode, besides Arya, was the Night King comes, he grabs that ice spear, he's about to chug it at Dany and Drogon and Jon or whoever else is in front of him. He fucking turns and just launches it at the one dragon, like fucking so far away. Why not just take her out? She came here with them. She's the fucking leader.
She was stationary. The other one was flying through the air. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I mean, we're jumping around at how ridiculously dumb everything was. Okay, so we were talking about how dumb Arya is.
Okay, let's go back to Arya.
Let's go back to how dumb Arya is. Everyone in the world knows that Sansa was under duress writing that letter. Dogs know that Sansa was under duress writing that letter. Like, it's so universally known. So the fact that like Arya would read this, I could buy Arya being such an idiot that she would read this and go nuts because she's psycho and she bakes people into pies. Fine. But the fact that she uses it as a threat, like, what if I told the other Northern Lords? The other Northern Lords would understand because they're not idiots. Like, they would go, oh yeah, you were under duress. And then she's like, what about Lyanna Mormont? She was younger than you. Lyanna Mormont commands 3 dudes. Like, no one cares about Lyanna Mormont except, I guess, when they're like electing kings.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, the Northern Lords in this show are so fucking fickle. Like, Jon has been gone for a couple of weeks, yet now they're gonna change their allegiance and say Sansa should have been in charge.
Couple of weeks, or possibly 9 months. We have no idea how long Jon has been gone. I mean, we're in this strange time paradox world that doesn't make sense, where, Gendry can run away from the middle of the fucking the middle of nowhere beyond the wall, and fucking alert Dany, like half a continent away, to come up.
I will say the one thing I did like about this episode was the fighting was great. I like the fighting. Dany and Tyrion. We're getting more of a disconnect between these two. They're having a rocky relationship. They're having a rocky friendship right now. And he doesn't want her to go out there and fly out there. And he's not wrong. In hindsight, I guess he was kind of right. But at the same time, he was... I don't know. That depends on how you see it, because he's right. She shouldn't go out there. In hindsight, he was, because she loses a dragon. However, at the same time, he's wrong because they still need that proof. But do they really need that proof, though? I mean, Dany could just fucking waltz into King's Landing right now. They're so stupid they can't even build more than one scorpion.
Well, they don't need Cersei. Cersei's not gonna. She burned up all of Cersei's army. So what can Cersei provide? Mm-hmm. Like she can provide Qyburn's ingenuity. Like, Cersei doesn't have anything anymore. Are Euron's ships gonna be useful against the army? No. Like, Dany already destroyed anything that Cersei can contribute.
Right.
So they're bringing back proof for Cersei, but why? Cersei doesn't matter.
Well, not all of Cersei's forces have been taken down. I guess what she's trying to do here is basically unite all of Westeros, not just, a couple of people. Unite all of it against the major threat, because the threat is so big, we need everybody in this fight. Because if it's only Dany, Jon, and, a couple other people in the fight, then the other people not in the fight, they can just waltz in and take everything else, even though they don't have that many men. So I understand the point. But, like, Tyrion this episode, I don't know, like, it's hard to gauge how the fans will react to Tyrion this episode, because all season he's been wrong.
Yeah.
And she calls him out for it. All season he's been wrong. And the one thing I don't know if they've established before, I don't remember this, but Dany can't have kids. I feel like that was said before, but I don't remember when.
Well, I mean, it was said in the book, but, I mean, it's said in first season, when Mirri Maz Duur says it. But
was it said in the first season of the show?
Yeah.
That she can't have kids anymore.
Right. It's kind of cryptic. But I don't, it was never really brought up since. So, I mean, it's definitely a book thing that she thinks this, and she thinks about it a lot, but in the show, yeah, like a cryptic thing that Mirri Maz Duur said first season. So it was kind of sprung on us that, she can't have kids.
I feel like that's something that happened, like that she opened up about in season 5 or season 6, something like that. Like, that's something that was said briefly. Like, I don't remember this in season 1. I really don't. What was the cryptic saying?
When will Drogo return? And she's like, when your wombs quicken, when the mountains turn to dust, and she throws in this line, when your womb quickens again, or something. I mean, I may be, like, confusing the book and the show, but I'm pretty sure that Mirri Maz Duur says it in the show as well.
Well, like I said, that part was a little interesting. Someone recently sent me a message saying how they think, Dany won't sit on the Iron Throne, that she'll die next season, because I forgot who said this to me. I do apologize. But someone said to me, every time one character tells another character, I wish you good fortune in the worlds to come, the character they said that to dies. So, Arthur Dayne says it to Ned, he dies. Mance Rayder says it to Stannis, he dies. I forgot who else says it to who else, but they end up dying too. So every time someone says, I wish you good fortune in the worlds to come, the person they say it to goes down. So do you think Dany possibly going down anytime soon?
I mean, not based on that. I mean, the problem with that is the net's too wide. So there was this really stupid theory that goes around the community, and one was about sapphires mean that there's going to be a lie, or something's a secret, and it's like people are lying and there's secrets on every fucking page. So of course, like when sapphires come out, that another one was Arbor Gold. Like anytime people are drinking Arbor Gold, they're lying, and it's like, but people are lying constantly. So like, oh, anytime somebody says like, oh, I wish you good fortune in the war is to come, like, and then they die. It's Game of Thrones. They're fucking dying all the time. Like, you can't
that's
use
like the
that.
new theory of the day, though. Like
Yeah,
every
you
week
can't
there's a
use
new one.
Yeah, I mean, people tried it again with like in the book. There's something called the Corn Code as well. Like if Mormont's raven says corn, then someone's gonna die, and it's like people are dying constantly. So no, you can't. You can never use that phrase to determine if somebody's gonna die. No, no, no.
Okay, so we jumped around a bit, which is fine. I only saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't see the whole thing. But the one
God.
thing I will say I did fucking see, which is the worst thing this episode. Even if you're a fan of Dany, you can't deny that this is awful. That outfit she has on. What the fuck was that?
The outfit was horrible. I don't know what she was thinking.
Look, I'm not a fashion guy. I doubt Preston's a fashion guy. We're not fashion guys, you know? Like, whatever. The costume this season has been okay, except for Euron, who looked like a Hot Topic model. Whatever, fine.
This is much worse than Euron.
This is much worse than... It really is. It's all
why
God,
why on earth I mean, the minute I saw her in that, I was like, what is she like? That's the first thing you think of. What is she fucking wearing? Like, instantly. No, look, there's so many things. We're jumping around because it's just the whole episode is just madness. Okay? The episode is, all right, they walk out and they walk for what seems like a long time and have a bunch of conversations. Apparently it's not that long because Gendry fucking runs the thing back really quickly, which is ridiculous. So I don't know how long they were walking, but they're walking long enough to not see a mountain and then see a mountain and have the Hound say, "Oh, there's the mountain from my vision." So I want to say they're walking like a whole, I want to say they're walking days, but apparently maybe they're just walking one afternoon.
So the mountain from his vision wasn't a figure of speech, meaning his brother?
No, that was a bunch of like there was some Clegane Bowl, like, wishful thinking.
It could still happen. It could still happen.
The mountain was a fucking mountain. Oh.
I love the Hound this episode. The Hound, I want to say, even though we get Benjen back very briefly, I want to say
oh, God.
The Hound was the MVP.
I forgot how ridiculous the Benjen thing was. Oh, God.
Come with me. There's no time. Yeah, there is. What are you talking about? There's plenty of
could
time.
you imagine being Jon in that situation? Okay, I mean, ignoring the fact that Jon, I guess, has come back from the dead again, because no human being could survive dropping into that water.
Okay, that top 3 stupid things this episode that nobody can't deny. Because at one point, Jon does fall into a, what do you call that? Like an ice pond or whatever?
Yeah, a lake.
He falls into
frozen lake.
A frozen lake.
This isn't like Polar Bear Plunge where he like drops in and then he instantly runs, like gets out. And even in a situation like that, you could still have hypothermia. Mm-hmm. He is under the water long enough that the entire army is like, he's dead, and they march away, and then he sneaks out. No, he's dead. There's no way. No. I have to take that as another resurrection, like he's been resurrected again,
But how did he swim up? Isn't he wearing armor?
No, he's just wearing a furry coat. But he was, the last time we did see him, he was fighting off like 3 zombies underwater. But yeah, he should have sunk to the bottom. The zombies were there. He would have hypothermia, whatever.
That is this, like even if look, a lot of people get on like your case and my case on occasion of us just finding things to pick apart about the show. I understand,
Just fucking
but
major fucking things.
but it's when it's right in your face, like Jamie like not sinking to the bottom. Okay, I can let that go, but
I mean, they get away with it because they cut. It's between an episode and you can forget a little bit. I mean, it's ridiculous, but at least you can forget because it happened an episode ago. But yeah, he just plunged in 2 seconds ago. No, he's dead. Unless he's coming back from the line, just like getting stabbed in the heart.
What they should have done was make this episode an entire episode full of losses. Like, they lost Thoros, have Jon fall into the lake, and then don't have him come back up until next episode. I feel like even though it is a dreaded episode, and it earns its place, it could have earned its place a little bit better if more people died. Like maybe Tormund, doing a Jon fake out. He doesn't come back until the very last episode. We only lost Benjen, Thoros, and the dragon. I really feel like this should have been more of a big loss, especially for the fans, because we all ship Tormund and Brienne. That's the thing this season. So losing Tormund would have definitely given that gut punch that we've all been missing from a dreaded episode for quite some time. Because last season, nobody cared that Rickon died. But okay, that aside, you really hated the part when they're all on the rock. Go into that a little bit more.
I mean, every moment is so aggravating. Okay, they're getting chased by the massive army. And then the massive army kind of realizes that the ice is breaking, so they kind of stop. And so our heroes are on a rock in the middle of a frozen lake. And so the army of the dead has surrounded them, even though they could march in at any time and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But I could understand, okay, maybe the army of the dead thinks, well, why do I even have to march in? I'll just let them freeze to death.
Right. That's a good strategy.
That's a good strategy. And then they're hanging out on the rock for, I imagine, I'm going to be super generous and say that they're hanging out on that rock for 24 hours.
At least 12 hours.
At least 12 hours, at least one night, but like 24 hours max. And this is important because fucking Gendry and then the Raven and then fucking Dany cross the world. But then the Hound, like a fucking idiot, picks up this rock and just starts chucking it at the army of the dead for no fucking reason because he's bored. And then at that point, the army of the dead decides, fine, we'll fucking come kill you. And you're like, oh my god, the Hound, like, what were you doing? Like,
I'm surprised the army of the dead cares about falling into a fucking lake. Like, really?
I mean, moderately, I guess.
I will say the Hound was funny this episode. I like the Hound. The fighting was fine. The way Thoros went out, I wanted him to go out in the blaze of glory, but the fact that he did go out through, being frozen to death, I can also understand that too. That makes sense. This is Beyond the Wall. We expect the winters Beyond the Wall to be harsh, and winter is here.
Well, I mean, I think he died from the polar bear wound, and then he just
did he die from the polar bear wound? It looks like he died from just being frozen. His wound wasn't.
Well, I think he died in the middle of the night,
mm-hmm.
and then was frozen. It's probably maybe some sort of combo. I don't know if there's a medical thing for that. Like, he was not in good shape.
But Arya aside, like the three stupidest thing this episode was Dany's outfit. That was just dumb. I'm sorry. Jon surviving falling into that ice lake, and the fact that the Night King has a chance to take out Drogon and Dany in one shot, but doesn't.
You don't think that Dany showing up to the party was stupid? Look,
we gotta give them something. We gotta give them something.
Remember, this is our like dropping standards that we have. Like, first of all, do you remember when Littlefinger, like the first time they really did a super big teleport, when they had Littlefinger go from Winterfell to King's Landing in like an episode or two, and everyone's like, what? How did Littlefinger cross from Winterfell to King's Landing in one episode? We were so upset about that was because it was ridiculous, because everybody's like, how is he doing that? That's a month journey. and everyone's, really upset. Now Jamie is able to go, and then this season we're getting angry because Jamie is able to march to Casterly Rock and then Highgarden in one episode. Okay, that's definitely, again, a month trip. This, I mean, come on, Gendry running back to the wall and then sending a freaking raven to Dragonstone?
In the show's defense, I'm going to sound like a show apologist. I'm not. But in their defense, and someone said this on Reddit, on the television subreddit, and I completely agree. We discussed this yesterday. Game of Thrones now feels like a bunch of adults who are playing an RPG, but they got to go home in an hour, so they're wrapping things up. That's basically what's happening here. So I can let it go. The teleportation thing, by the way, is a thing even people who watch just the show are having an issue with. Because you can just look up, you can Google right now a map of Westeros. And this is not like, this is medieval times. It takes a while to get from place to place. So even people who just watch the show, don't read the books, are having an issue with it. But overall, you didn't like the episode. I'm sorry to hear. I saw bits and pieces of it. I did like, them fighting the White Walkers. Fine. Them fighting Army Dead. The fighting was nice. I guess my favorite part would have to be Dany and Tyrion. I like it when, they go at each other. Tyrion, he's being a little controversial this season. He's been wrong the entire season. This is probably his worst season of things to do because everything he has done has been bad. Every advice he's given,
Yeah.
But
here,
go ahead.
This is something else I just thought of though. On Arya Sansa, isn't it weird how Littlefinger hasn't really been that bad for a long time?
What do you mean?
When people are like, "Ooh, that Littlefinger, he's been causing trouble. He needs to die." Like, what has Littlefinger really done that has been that bad? Because we know that fucking Littlefinger's toast really soon.
He's a creep.
But
That's the only reason people hate him right now is because he's a creep. He revealed his intentions last season to want to sit on the Iron Throne with like Sansa as his queen, which doesn't make any sense. That's so out of character for him from the books. People don't like him because people don't like creeps. So even though his intentions when it comes to Sansa, yeah, they're creepy, but he wants to support Sansa. He's on her side, and he's just creepy. Nobody likes that porn stash he has going.
Sure, but that's the thing is we're with a feeling he's creepy versus Arya has actually, mass murdered people and baked people into pies. She has set herself up to being, the real villain that needs to be taken care of for a couple episodes now. So when it does come that Arya doesn't die and Littlefinger does, it doesn't feel like a villain is being vanquished.
Yeah, I know. Thinking back on it now, I really wanted Drogon to die because it really would have made more of a gut punch, Like, I thought Drogon was definitely going down this episode.
I thought Tormund was... when Tormund was pretty close to dying, I thought they were going to take him out.
Yeah, Tormund. And, taking out Viscera, you should have at least taken out Drogon. Put that there, because Drogon's the one dragon she uses all the time. It's the problem child. It's the one we focused on the most. I guarantee you the average Game of Thrones viewer does not even know the name of her other two dragons.
Sure, but Drogon's got plot armor, so you can't. You can't.
Look, that's so stupid. Cersei would win tomorrow if she just lined up the battlements with scorpions, but whatever. I guess they need her. They need her a Golden Company army. But let's wrap this up for now, Preston. Before we do, is there anything you did enjoy about the episode?
Yeah. No. Look, I thought a lot of the banter that the Seven Samurai had, walking away from the wall was really great.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the connection that Jorah and Thoros had. I liked the witty banter between the Brotherhood and Gendry, and that was entertaining. They had some good chats. There was nothing wrong with that. I wish I wish there was actually more than that. I wish they had actually gone on their journey maybe earlier, so that they could spend more time together. But I don't know.
We'll discuss this more when we do our podcast episode and go into the episode a bit more.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, what I like is characterization. Like I like when people have conversations and we learn about people's feelings and people's histories. I like seeing characters interact. Action's fine, but it's not the substance for me. It's it's icing on the cake, not the cake.
Right.
So
That's exactly. I agree exactly. Like I've said this in multiple videos. I love it when characters just sit down and discuss the past. One of my favorite scenes is a very brief scene from season 1 is when Jaime and Jory, one of Ned Stark's guards, are discussing, the Greyjoy rebellion and how, like, Thorosifmir and his flaming sword, it was, first through the bridge. Like,
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. When Robert Baratheon and Cersei are sitting down talking about their marriage, it may sound boring on paper, but it's really interesting. The actors do a good fucking job. Okay, let's wrap this up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a reminder, this is not a review of the episode, but more of a first impressions discussion type of thing. If you enjoyed the video, then consider subscribing for more. Also, check out Preston's channel. I'll leave it in the description below. The next episode of the podcast will be on his channel, and we'll be discussing episode 5. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.